So let's talk big channel giveaways, some news for supporting the channel in the USA and Canada, and video plans past and future with the AuspexTactics channel update for February. Hello and welcome back to AuspexTactics, where today it's time for the monthly channel update, checking in for a few things going on around the channel in the past month and looking forward to the future. Let's talk videos first, then the big giveaways for this month and next month, and then a little bit of news for 3 different ways to support the channel, relevant for people who live in the USA and Canada, and a small update from Elegoo and their 3D printers. As ever, January has been a pretty busy month on the channel. Perhaps an unusually big month for the amount of views. Seems like this one has been the most interest I've got on the YouTube videos since the launch of 10th edition. I guess over the past few weeks we have had some pretty big stuff. We had the Dark Angels Codex drop with all the new rules and updates relating to that, though sadly we're still waiting on points. We had the big reveal show where they've shown us off our entire new Crude army range that's going to be coming just around the corner. And of course the enormity that is the balanced data slate and the FAQs and all the stuff that goes along with that. I feel like January tends to be a pretty big month for when Games Workshop drops all their content. Otherwise I did experiment with a few shorts as well on the channel. I might try and keep some occasional ones coming, as I felt like I saw a lot of my older ones from 9th edition getting recommended that just might not be quite as relevant to people these days. They're definitely not going to be a main focus of the channel, but they can be kind of fun just to cover a focused topic, to try and cram as much information into 60 seconds, so I'll try and keep the odd one or two coming, but they're definitely not going to distract from the main videos in any way. Otherwise, for other fun stuff over the month, I had a chance to work on a few big projects towards the start of the year, doing a big strengths and weaknesses for every Space Marine unit video, which might have changed a little bit since the balanced data slate, but fortunately Games Workshop didn't completely dumpster the points, so at least most of that is still relevant even if things like Scouts and Inceptors have been nerfed a bit. Otherwise, for highlights over the month, the lore video that I made about the Emperor's duel between him and Horus with Dan Abnett's new book somehow became the video that you guys watched the most over the month. Maybe I should be focusing more on lore videos. You guys do seem to like them when I occasionally do cover them. That one is kind of a pivotal 40k event retold though, and I was certainly interested to learn what had changed. Other fun ones I enjoyed making were what minis does each faction most need next, and an Imperial Fist start collecting video with that appearance from Let's Make It 40k who did the channel intro. Kind of fun to take the time to do a rare collab, something that my production schedule just rarely allows really. Otherwise, for future video plans, I'm sure Games Workshop will likely keep the news and reveals coming. We've got the Tau Codex, the Troop miniature range, and likely some reveals for Custodians and Orcs on the horizon. Plus we actually need to get the proper Dark Angels miniature release. Hopefully they won't be too long away with that. I'll probably be aiming to make a few more faction focused videos from the balanced data slate. Custodians and Knights could be particularly interesting to look into. And for some other projects, I was thinking about doing a strengths and weaknesses of Astra Militarum units, plus possibly trying to do a lore roundup of the Pariah Nexus Crusade book, one that passed me by amidst all the other big releases. As always, if you have any other thoughts for videos on the channel, feel free to let me know any suggestions down in the comments. Moving on, let's talk channel giveaways, and I can announce the winners of the February one, which is the Deathwing Assault box set. The 6 winners who will be receiving a copy of that are Stefan Collard, Jonathan Crow, Choggy C, Josh Winchester, Joseph Sattler, and Jan Phillip. I've sent you all messages to ask for delivery addresses, and I'll hopefully be able to have those in the post towards the end of this week. In a similar vein, seeing as Games Workshop do appear to be keeping the big launch boxes coming, I thought we'd go for doing 6 copies of the similar Kroot box set with their new army range launch and the new Tau Codex. If you wanted to enter in for a chance to win the Kroot box set, the normal rules for entering the AuspexTactics giveaways will apply. This is the box set that has 20 of the new Kroot mercenaries, 2 shapers of different sorts, 4 Krootoks including the Big Rider plus those new Savage Close Combat ones which look kind of fun, and the Tau Codex. As ever, there's 2 equal ways to enter, links down in the video description. Supporting the channel on Patreon for any amount. It is what allows me in the main to keep these videos coming quite so regularly, so an enormous thank you for any of you guys choosing to support there. That gets you automatic entry into the giveaways each and every month. Otherwise, the other option is to support via social media, which is completely for free. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here, like the Facebook page that's linked down in the video description alongside the Patreon. And to actually enter the draw, then respond to the post that appears on the 1st of March. It's a clearly marked giveaway post that says enter the giveaway here, and reply to that with a photo of any 40k mini or imagery, along with your name and date handwritten within the same photo. The last bit is just to deter Facebook bots and spammers. There was an unfortunate level of scammers trying to target the giveaway this past month, As ever, if you see anyone impersonating my account and trying to ask for your credit card details, obviously that's not me. The winners are always announced in this video on the 4th of the month, and I'll never ask for any sort of payment from you. Thank you to all those who have reported those to me. As soon as I'm able, I try and block the accounts and purge the heretic scammer filth. In any case, whether you choose to enter via the Patreon or via the social media, I put all the names into the draw, one entry each. I then pick the eventual winner with a random number generator, and that's announced on that YouTube video, as I said, the same one as this one, but on the 4th of March. At the moment, we don't 100% know when Games Workshop will release these. Seeing as we've known about them for a little while yet, there's a reasonable chance they come out in February. If not, then obviously they'll be posted as soon as I receive my order of them, whenever Games Workshop does choose to release. Check out the links to the Patreon page or the Facebook page down in the video description if you'd like to be in a chance to enter for either of those. Otherwise, there were 3 other bits of news for channel affiliates and different ways to support Auspex around the world, and I feel like this channel update video is usually the best way to announce them. First up, I've quite regularly had requests to try and find a channel affiliate that does a good discount on Warhammer miniatures in the USA. Previously I did have an Amazon link down there, which certainly is still an option, but recently I was reached out to by a store called Wargame Portal over there, who in all honesty I've been very impressed with. They look like they're a pretty cool up and coming Warhammer 40k discount retailer and seem to be doing just about everything right as best I can tell. I've only heard positive things that people have to say about them so far, and I'll leave a link to their store down in the video description. The cliff notes for what they offer is their main features is that they're an online store that ships across the USA, and they're one of the ones that does the good 15% discount on Games Workshop's models, which a fair few retailers do, and there are other options, but not everyone chooses to offer the 15%. They do have a fair amount of stock, but often what they do is back order things, so if you place an order through them, then they'll place the order through Games Workshop, so even if they don't have things in stock right at this minute, it can mean that you can place an order, and then you'll get it at the 15% discount, even if it takes a little bit longer compared with ordering through Games Workshop, with the price of Warhammer is often worth it. Otherwise, the things that really set these guys apart is they've got a very stylish modern website that's just a lot easier to use than most things, and the one bit of feedback that you guys gave me en masse was that they just have absolutely great communication. If there's ever any questions or issues with orders, they answer it in detail quickly, and are very open and honest about what they can and can't do with ordering things through Games Workshop. As we all know, things can often be delayed, and Games Workshop tend to have warehousing issues, which can certainly be a challenge for third-party discounters to coordinate. I gave these guys a tryout with a feedback on a channel post earlier in the month, and in general you guys had nothing but positive things to say about them. Though of course I'd certainly welcome any and all feedback down in the comments below. As per the rest of the channel affiliates around the world, these could be one to consider if you want to get some Games Workshop kits at a good discount, and if you buy anything after clicking the link in the video description, then a proportion of the profits goes to help AuspexTactics as well as saving you money compared with buying direct from Games Workshop. In any case, look forward to hearing your thoughts down in the comments below. For the second of the 3 channel affiliate type things, we're over to north of the border in Canada with FENRIS Workshop, who have very generously offered to run a giveaway for AuspexTactics fans in Canada, offering one of the new Space Marine forces with all the jump intercessors, the Outriders, the ATV and the Jump Captain. Quite a fun big box, and while it might not have been the single most exciting of the Christmas battle forces, being able to potentially land one for free is really quite cool, could give you a massive fast attack element to a Space Marine army. FENRIS Workshop are a discount retailer with 10% off in Canada, and while the front of store discount might not be quite as high as a few of the other providers around there, they basically plug the rest of the discount into their loyalty program, which I understand is genuinely quite good and a major selling point of the store. Again, they're an AuspexTactics affiliate, so if you did buy anything after clicking the link in the video description, a small amount goes to help support AuspexTactics, as well as saving you money versus Games Workshop. In any case, if you were interested in entering in for the Spearhead Force giveaway, the main thing that they wanted in return was just a little bit of exposure on social media and me to mention them on the channel. To enter, you just have to do 2 things. Follow FENRIS Workshop on Instagram, which is linked below in the video description, and then due to Canada and having to answer a question to do giveaways over there. And the way that I thought I'd do that is to ask a question based on their loyalty program, what is the name of the first level of the FENRIS Workshop loyalty program, and send your answers to this email address, auspexgiveaway@gmail.com. You can find out the information for that one by clicking the link to the web store in the video description. It's fairly clearly marked from there. Of course, you must live in Canada for this one, as that's where they can distribute to, and I'll do this much like the other giveaways, pick the winner with a random number generator and announce it in the next month in the channel update video on the 4th of March. In general though, I've certainly heard a lot of positive things about them, and if you did happen to order things in through them if you live in Canada, then if you do it after clicking the link, then it does go to help support the channel as well. In any case though, pretty nice of them to offer to give a big giveaway box away. I do try and take up the stores when they offer this sort of promotion, as I'm sure it could be useful to some of you out there who want to land one of these. Finally, for the third and final affiliate thing, I've also had a small extra offer thing sent to me via Elegoo that might well interest some of you if you were looking to pick up a 3D printer. They basically sent some discount codes and say they've got an offer called their Lunar New Year sale going on, so it might just be a little bit cheaper than normal if you were looking to jump in to play around with one for 3D printing for wargaming. Elegoo are a pretty well-renowned and recognised brand that lots of people do use for 3D printing proxies for Warhammer. It's not something that everyone's into, but can be a cheap way to get some very cool miniatures and designs beyond what Games Workshop offer, and they ship to a whole number of places around the world. Other good brands exist, of course. What they sent me were a trio of discount codes for their web store, which you can see on screen now, and I'll also link down in the video description as well. Not an enormous amount, just somewhere between $10 and $20 off depending on how much you spend. A bit of a curious scaling process for it as well, but in all honesty I probably wouldn't use it to actually change what you're buying or anything like that. Just if you happen to be buying something through their web store anyway, treat this as a nice to have and you may as well just save an extra $10 or $20. Again, I'll link their store down in the video description, and again any purchases of 3D printers, if you happen to be buying one anyway through there, do go to help support AuspexTactics as well. Currently they also have a minor sale on called their Lunar New Year sale. A few of their resin printers do seem to be going a little bit cheaper than normal, maybe a highlight being this Saturn II 8K 3D printer for less than $300. That's quite a big one and a fairly reasonable one for printing miniatures compatible with Warhammer. A fairly good mix of size and detail at a fairly affordable price. They do have very, very regular sales though, so I wouldn't say it's any sort of FOMO type thing to jump in and get one immediately, but it could be one to consider. And if you did wind up buying anything, then clicking through the link first does help support Auspex. You might also want to check out any discounts on Amazon too, as apparently I've heard that they can be quite good and could be another cheap way of picking one up. In any case, I think that's just about it for the announcements. Looking forward to another good month of talking through Warhammer strategy releases and miniatures. Let me know any suggestions for the channel or any other ideas that you might have down in the comments below. Feel free to check out the channel's Patreon or Facebook if you want to enter for the giveaways, or any of the affiliate bits that I've mentioned. I will try and leave them kind of clearly linked. Massive thank you to all you guys who are out there supporting the channel, allowing me to do this very cool thing as my main job. I'll certainly continue to make Warhammer 40k videos just as often as I possibly can. In any case, I suspect I'll be back sometime in the next 6 to 9 hours sort of time, either with the Custodies or maybe a bit of a roundup of Games Workshop minor releases. We'll see what happens. So I look forward to seeing all of you guys there. As always, an absolutely enormous thank you to each and every one of you for listening and watching, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.